starting the screen sharing. Can you see it? Teka.
Yes. You make it into a
Ayun.
slideshow.
Is it visible, Senny?
Yeah.
Unstable.
Kita namin. Kita to.
Okay. No, visible na?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. So, yan yung ginawang teaser ni Senny.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
screen.
All right, good. So, para naman para hindi mabigat yung topic for this holiday season. Let's talk about plants kasi yun yung in thing ngayon. Because of the pandemic, a lot of people are in a lockdown mode. So, out of boredom, yung iba nag-resort to taking care of plants. And sadly, maraming hindi marunong mag-alaga ng halaman, and secondly, hindi marunong mag-identify, bili lang, in-endorse ni celebrity. So, rather than becoming a solution, it becomes a problem to some of them na nag-start mag-collect. So, can you see this second one? So, it's a dangerous addiction, sinabi ko.
No,
Why
yeah.
a dangerous addiction? Plants are overpriced due to high demand. Money is not easy during the pandemic. Overpriced because, what used to sell for, let's say, XX pesos are 6 to 20 times more expensive just because of the very, very high demand. Okay, so the second is, in-endorse ng mga celebrities na hindi naman alam kung paano mag-alaga. Basta nag-post, gumanda. Jinky Pacquiao, yung mga sila Aubrey Miles, Gretchen. Walang kaalam-alam sa halaman. And, pati badyang, Senny, badyang, yung malalaking gabi sa bundok.
Oo. Naku, dami sa amin yun.
Oo. Nilalagay sa paso, tapos ibebenta 2K, 3K. My God, ang dami dito sa village, eh. Ang kati-kati. So, just because somebody endorse it na maganda raw pang filter ng air. So, kandara pa yung mga tao. And, collectors buy because they have money and nakita nila si sikat, sikat ang post, ang dami nag-like. But walang effort na mag-research, and then once the plants start to die or wilt at nagkaroon na ng yellowing ng leaves, help, tatawag na ng help, magpo-post what's happening. Too much love and too much care over watering. And, the 1,000 peso or several thousand peso plants die in the process sometime later. And the other thing is there's no such thing as an indoor plant. Maybe low light requirement, but nothing thrives totally indoor. Even indoor plants have to be taken out every now and then, after three days. Meron lang talaga matitibay, pero nagso-survive sila. They are not really growing healthy. So, nadi-disturb yung kanilang production or yung photosynthesis. And ito, importante, yung lack of knowledge of plant type. Sabi mo, ano yung binili mo? May bago kong halaman. Yung yung mahaba yung dahon, kulay pula. Yung yung ganyan, yung walang idea, Bibili dahil nagustuhan. In the end, if you don't know the plant, you don't know how you would take care of it. Just because binenta maganda doesn't mean na magsusurvive sa bahay mo yun. So, risk doon. And a lot of attractive plants also have toxic sap, Yung iba hindi alam yun. Toxicity, sabi, makati. Bakit yung mga takta makati? And because they don't know the plant, they don't know how to take care of it, animal cultural requirements. So, importante, alamin mo muna yung halaman na gusto mong bilhin. And sabi nga natin, this is not the time to buy. Just because nabobore ka, bibili ka ng halaman, pupunuin mo yung sala mo para luminis yung air. It doesn't work that way. Unang-una, yung sala mo, magmumukhang greenhouse. Hindi ka na makalakad. Puro ka dilig, ang ganda, post ka ng post sa FB, pero tanga naman, I mean, hindi mo na makita yung sala, hindi mo na makita yung sofa, puro halaman. It's best to keep a few plants indoors, but not punuin na magbukang gubat na yung living room mo or kitchen, whatever, you know. Ito yung big question kasi nga sinabi dahil pandemic, marami mga airborne viruses and bacteria. So is it an effective air purifier? Palaging sinasabi yung NASA study, okay? So yung National Aeronautic and Space Administration study. Lagi sinasabi yan, effective air cleaner. So ano ba yung mga effective air cleaner daw, you know, according to NASA? Yung study way back in 1989. So napatunayan ng study na to, yung leaves, roots, and soil and associated microorganisms. They were evaluated as possible means of reducing indoor pollutants, air pollutants. Tapos, meron din silang ginawa sa halaman na, okay, puro foliage lang ba? Or kasama ba yung soil sa pag-reduce? So meron silang iba, if you read the whole article, anyway, available naman yan sa website for free. I can send the PDF to all of you later, you know. Basahin nyo, maganda. Tapos, it's also proven to, or nakita nila na meron silang ginawang paglalagay ng indoor plant na effective sa pag-remove ng high concentration of indoor air pollutants. Cigarette smoke, organic solvents, and other, and possibly radon, yung mga ano. Sa bahay natin kasi, gumagamit tayo ng pintura, yung upholstery natin, nag-i-emit ng mga odor or chemicals na hindi natin alam. Nakaka-apekto pala sa ano natin, sa ating health, di ba? Minsan, ganda-ganda ng pintura, puro may lead pala, mataas ang lead concentration. So, yun yung idea ng study na to. If you're in an enclosed space, would plants help, you know, filter or clean out the air? Yung design, basically, ng pag-filter ng air using plants is the same as, you know, paglinis ng mga wastewater. Yung mga contamination in large volume natatanggal using activated carbon bed. So somehow dun sa end nung paper, they modified a plant inside the house with using activated carbon as your potting media. Tapos merong, pakita ko mamaya, parang merong propeller to suck in the contaminated air para effectively mafi-filter siya. So hindi lang leaves but also the roots and associated microorganisms. May mga microorganisms in your soil where the plants thrive na mako-condition, genetically mag-evolve, magugustuhan yung mga toxic substances sa air at doon sila magta-thrive pag yung pagkain nila yon. Very interesting yun. No? So doon sa study, ang ginamit nila several plants, you know, at familiar yung iba sa inyo dito, pero I'll just mention the common name plus scientific name para mas meron namang konting matutunan. Yung pala yung tawag doon, hindi puro mga kung anong sinabi na tinatawag natin commercial name. Okay? And in between the test, kung saan nila ginagawa yung test, they have, the plants are placed in greenhouses. So, imagine niyo full sun yun or filtered light. Tapos mainit and temperature, humidity conditions are all controlled. Ginamitan ng commercial fertilizer to sustain growth. And pagtest ng isang plant, bawat plant, plexiglass chambers, I think 4 chambers para tapos open yung pinakaibabaw, tapos may pinaka-enclosed na plexiglass chamber to see yung input ng contaminated air, tapos yung paglabas niya, kung gaano yung nare-reduce. And then instead of sunlight, it's constantly illuminated using yung mga growth lights, yung fluorescent bulbs na intended for indoor plant growth. Okay, ito yung mga listong halaman, ano ba yung familiar sa inyo dyan? Pag nilagay ko na yung picture, magiging malinaw na. Pero si Senny, alam niya yung mga English ivy,
English ivy.
ficus.
Gerbera
Eh.
daisy. I have the
Maraming
mother-in-law's
Gerbera.
mother-in-law's tongue. I have one here. I'll show you
Oo.
mother-in-law's tongue.
Yeah, yung Sansevieria laurenti. Anyway, may mga picture na yan. So ito yung mga ginamit nila, obtained from nurseries, and this is what they look like, you know? This is the, kita niyo ba?
Mm.
Dito.
Yan. Ah.
Yeah, bamboo palm. Ito yung sefritzi.
Kita.
Tawag niya doon sa mga ibang tinda, chiprichi. Oh, iba yung mga pronunciation kasi nga hindi nila alam yung for the lack of knowledge ng totoong scientific name. Pero it is part of the Sipritsi, Sipritz.
Sipritz.
Camedorea Sipritzi. Tapos yung isa, Chinese modestum. Tapos ito yung common sa mga walls sa colder climates, yung English ivy, yung hedera. Okay, and then, of course, familiar, yung Gerbera daisy, yung Jamesoni ay yung potted mums chrysanthemum species. So, yan yung mga ginamit. No? Ito, common sa atin to. Yung Dracena deremensis Janet Craig. Tawag natin yan, fortune plant eh.
Ayun.
Oh,
Yan.
yeah.
Oo. Tapos yung, yung marginata, Dracena marginata. Ito yung parang marami sa mga landscaping nito, Toljet. So you might be familiar.
Meron
Yung
ako na
Dracena
yan.
din.
Hindi ba yung money tree ang tawag dyan?
Yan nga. Yan ang problema natin, yung mga naming na ano. Lahat yan, money yan. Maswerte daw eh. So, if we start using scientific name, hindi tayo mako-confuse sa tamang pangalan ng halaman. So,
Ito meron ako nito.
Ano?
Ito mga to, meron ako nito. Money tree ang tawag dyan eh.
Oh, lahat
Itong
yan
nasa
money
gitna?
tree, lahat yan swerte eh, lucky plant eh. So, yun ang confusion dahil kasi hindi alam yung scientific name. Commercial name yung ginagamit. Tapos, meron ako niyan eh, alam niyo yun eh, ganyan eh. So, that's where the confusion starts. Anyway, if you know at least yung genus or family, hindi kayo maliligaw. Okay? Mother-in-law's tongue. Ito yung Sansevieria. So maraming klase
Snake plant.
Snake plant.
maraming itsura yung snake plant eh. Pwede ring
Espada.
Pero yun nga ang tawag, mother-in-law's tongue. Dila doon ng biyenan na babae. So, ayan. And yung Warnicai, Dracena din to. Parang fortune plant na
halos
may
pareho.
mga barigay. Yung may mga... So ito yung mga common plants na ginamit. And of course, yung ficus benjamina or benjamina. Yung balete na ornamental. Okay. And then the peace lily, yung Spathiphyllum mauna loa. Pero yung iba dito, tawag na peace lily. So very common yan sa mga indoor plants. And it's very popular. Pero nga, sobrang mahal. You know, it's anywhere
Really?
from 6 to 10, easily 6 to 10 times the pre-pandemic prices. So, yun yung mga ginamit na halaman. And to, you know, may basis why plants are used indoors. Because for example, yung formaldehyde, mga 70% ang removal ng mass cane or corn cane eh. Potted mums can remove like 61%. Gerbera daisy 50. So may mga, if you look at benzene, 67% natatanggal ng daisies and 41% ng trichloroethylene can be removed, 41 to 35, and 35% for potted mums and Gerbera daisy. These are plants were maintained in a commercial type greenhouse. Tapos tinetest sila for 24-hour exposure to air with contaminants nito, formaldehyde, benzene, and trichloroethylene for 24 hours. Tapos tinetest ulit yung content ng air. Kept at 30 degrees centigrade. and yung constant light nga sinabi natin kanina. So, according to the research, may increase ng chemical removal dun sa mga halaman. And yung 2-year study na to, the same plant spotting soil are constantly exposed to air containing such toxic chemicals as benzene. Tapos yung capacity nila to continuously clean the air improves. No? Bakit nag-i-improve? Dapat mamamatay na yung halaman. This is because it's well-established fact that microorganisms have that ability to genetically adapt, thereby as food source. Okay? When continuously exposed to such chemicals. So, ginagamit din to, alam na ito nung mga gumagawa ng removal ng toxic chemicals from wastewater. Okay, another thing is that may mga bacteria that grows well in the soil where the roots, are developing dun sa mga halaman. So if they thrive with this bacteria, yung bacteria, yung kumakain ng mga, wag na natin banggitin yung bacteria, baka din mabulol ako, So marami daw bacteria dun sa mother-in-law's tongue na very efficient in removing a lot of the toxic substances. And pati doon sa Chinese evergreen. The peace lily potting soil contains several bacteria, and these are common soil microorganisms, and most are known to be capable of biodegrading toxic chemicals when activated by plant root growth. So, may mga may mga keyword, plant root growth. So, ito yung pinropose nila after the 2-year study na yung halaman mo would be placed or planted instead of a soil, activated carbon, just to be an efficient filter sa air. Tapos meron siyang, makikita nyo, may fan sa ilalim to suck in, and may mga timer. Okay, so simpleng setup, pero it means na para mas effective, lagyan mo ng dadagdagan mo ng activated carbon plus yung pang sip-sip ng air para talagang thoroughly ma-filter. So it means na kailangan yung potting media mo rin ay porous. Okay? So, okay, filter absorbs air, utilize them as a food source, therefore regenerating the carbon. Balik tayo dun sa photosynthesis. Okay, sa simple representation ng photosynthesis, kailangan mo yung light, and then carbon dioxide would be absorbed by the plant, and it releases oxygen in the process. Okay, carbohydrates would become sugar at ito yung pagkain ng halaman later on. And there's also the intake of water and mineral nutrients doon sa roots. Okay? So, yung mga reaction driver, kailangan natin ng light. Kailangan din ng yung mga leaves and root system. So, ito yung simple representation. May growth, sugar and oxygen. Oxygen release, kailangan ng sunlight, kailangan din ng water. Okay? So, what is it implying? In an artificial setup, dun sa loob ng bahay, walang sunlight. So, all you have is fluorescent, mahina yung ilaw. So, I don't think photosynthesis is gonna work inside your house. Diba? Mabubuhay yung halaman because may enough light to help it survive. Pero, it will not produce as much oxygen when it's really outside the house. So, tanda lang natin, yung experiment was in a controlled environment. Yung artificial light, despite artificial light yun, engineered light yun. So, kailangan yung wavelength to induce photosynthesis. Pero sa bahay natin, walang ganon. Ang ginagamit natin, LED, o kaya yung incandescent kung meron pang gumagamit ng incandescent. So, we should really see to it na yung halaman masisikatan kahit paano ng araw or yung filtered light if ever. But it still has to be sunlight. Otherwise, don't expect plants to be active in purifying the air. Okay. So, sabi nga natin, dangerous addiction, but plants can be effective in reducing toxins, microbes, and pathogens in indoor spaces if conditions are correct. Okay. It's a dangerous addiction because exorbitant plant prices is dangerous to the household budget. Okay, imbis na ibili ng ulam, binili ng halaman, nasira yung budget for the week. Stupidity is dangerous to the plant. Kasi kung di mo alam yung cultural requirement ng plant, they die. You waste money and you get frustrated. So during the pandemic, stress ka na nga, namatayan ka pa ng halaman. So it doesn't help the situation, It pag-aralan. So kahit simpleng halaman nyo, try to study what the cultural requirement is. Okay, what is important is not all plants are suitable for indoors. Merong may tinik, may toxic sap from leaves and stems. Iba may pollens at yung roots naman pwedeng lumabas ng paso, invade yung crack kung saan siya nakalagay. So you have to see kung ano yung kumibata sa inyo, bawal yung ganito halaman, kung may pets na gustong okay, some plants are not suitable for infants, pets, and people with allergies. And, maganda siguro to have a little or a number of plants indoors just to make it look fresh. But, it's better to have a lot of plants outdoors. Outdoors meaning it can be full sun, it can be partially shaded area. Okay, may tanong ba dun sa unang part?
Fine, carry on.
Okay. So, babalik tayo. Don't be fooled by celebrities endorsing this or that plant. So, just make use or try to propagate plants that are already in existence or surviving. Sino yan?
Sabi mo na sa kanila.
Hello? Okay. Thank you.
Sino yun?
So,
Sino yan?
sorry, whoever that was, I muted him.
Yeah. Good. Anyway, this is what I usually teach dun sa mga outreach program. Grafting techniques ng bougainvillea. Very, very underestimated or undervalued plant. Pero maganda yung maganda yung commercial at aesthetic value niya. So I've been showing these slides to a lot of groups, bonsai group, bougainvillea group for a long time now. So, all right. Okay. Can you see it?
Yep.
Can you see the slide?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a display of bougainvilleas being sold
Wow.
in Taiwan, all sorts of colors. And so basically, halaman ng lola nyo before, halaman ng mga matatanda, is now given a revival, because of the many cultivars that have been developed and really, really easy to take care if you are into plants. Hindi siya ganun ka-sensitive. Hello? Oh, ano nga?
Hello.
Sino yan?
Sino yan?
Kala ko ba 11 p.m. pa?
Meron tayong
Present.
si Alice.
Present, present.
Nagkagulo, dumating si Alice.
Ikaw ba yung maingay kanina pa? Alice.
Ako ba yan? Paano? Akala ko 11 pa eh. Wala pa 11 eh.
Naman, 10 kaya ang nakalagay.
Saan mo
Wala
nabasa yung
11.
11?
Ay, 10 ba?
Eh, tama, Alice,
Anyway.
subukan mo 11 para magising na kami.
Nahanap na ako ni Donna.
Good evening ka.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Alex.
Mga tol, good evening mga
Kaya.
tol.
Nasa ibang bansa
Good
kasi ako
evening,
tuloy.
tol.
Yeah, na-miss mo yung first part ng presentation.
Ano ba yung presentation?
Ulitin na lang.
Ay, baleg.
Repeat.
Wag na. Mahaba pa to eh. Marami pang natitira ng slides.
Shakespeare
Yeah.
does not repeat. Okay.
Inyo.
Exactly.
Record
Yes,
naman eh.
I did.
Record to.
Recorded naman eh.
Yes, I
I-share
did.
naman niya yung slides.
Ay,
Wala
recorded
problema,
ba? Sige,
di ba?
pakishare sa record.
I-share lang
No
naman yun.
problemo.
Lecture mo.
Ano?
Ano mo
Hi,
padala?
Good evening,
Aida.
tol.
Hello.
Good evening, mga tol.
So,
Nire-record naman.
Papadala
Bakit
mo
yan?
ba lecture mo?
Hindi,
Signal.
tapos na ba, Nyong? Hindi pa.
Alright.
hindi pa
So,
yan.
let's continue.
Let's
So, yung mga...
Paingay kasi.
Welcome, Alice. Let's continue. Okay.
Hindi pa. No, I'm just starting the second part.
Oh,
Ang ingay kasi. So,
Hello.
Ito yung
Go,
nakita
go, go.
nyo. These are
Hello.
non-grafted. You know, these are single core.
May pumapasok.
Hello.
sino yan?
parang
Galaxy
bakit
6.
Sino yung nanggugulo
Sino
na
yan?
winter?
Hello, Alex. Si Alex.
Alex.
Juanes.
Oy, ano?
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's just-
Galaxy
Hindi niyo ako
J4?
nakikita.
No.
Hindi niyo ako nakikita.
Kita ka namin. We can see you.
So we can
Okay,
see you, pero
nag-grocery
mask
kasi
lang.
ako.
Okay. Sige, mag-grocery ka lang muna.
Okay.
I-mute ka muna ni Senny. Ginugulo mo yung presentation.
Okay.
Alright.
I-mute ka muna,
Catch
ha?
you later. So these are the single colored, ungrafted. And when it's grafted, it shows various colors in a single stem or trunk. So ito yung mga multicolored grafted bougainvilleas.
Wow. Meron ka niyan, tol?
Oh, yung iba namatay na. Namatay dahil ayaw
Okay, may
Talaga?
tanong ko. Inyong. Meron akong seco
Yeah.
plant. Ngayon, gusto kong i-transfer.
Yung mga bulaklak niya yun.
Transfer. Ang sabi sa sa website, bago ko
Ano seco?
plant, seco plant.
Bougainvillea.
Ano yung seco plant?
Seco
Ito
plant.
na po.
Anong scientific name?
That is the name. Scientific.
No,
I don't know.
walang scientific name na ganun.
Puto seco?
Special name yun.
Seiko wallet.
Wallet na maswerte.
Seco wallet?
Sandali ha, papakita ko sa iyo. Hold on.
Ayan.
Hindi, sige, tuloy muna. Mamaya na yung question.
Oo,
Wala yung question. I will
tapos
entertain the
naman.
question
Q&A,
after.
mamaya Q&A.
After, okay.
Hey.
So it's always a fantastic, sight to see multicolored
Yeah.
grafted
Wow.
bougainvilleas.
Ganda naman yan.
Mahal din yan to.
I don't even think that is possible.
Oo nga eh.
Upper left is mine. The one on the lower left is highway sa Laguna, and the bigger picture is from may microphone na nag-echo.
Meron alien. May alien. UFO.
Ano to? Pakiulit.
Ayun.
Unmute muna, unmute.
Grabe.
Unmute muna kayo.
Sene, unmute mo.
Yeah, i-mute
Mute mo na lahat.
kayong
Mute mo na kayo lahat.
Mute mo lahat.
Nababastos ako. May bayad to pagkatapos. Sige, pag gano'n. Pag maingay kayo, may bayad yan. Singilin ko kayo lahat. Alright. The bigger picture is from a park in Singapore. So that's what it looks like when it's grafted with multiple colors. So quick presentation. Bakit, reasons, general information, methods of grafting. Bilisan na natin kasi mahaba to. I think it's more than 100 slides. So it belongs to this family, Nyctaginaceae. So out of 16 species, 4 have ornamental importance. So wag yun na tanungin, it's more than 1,000 cultivars presently grown, and the 16 species apat lang yung may horticultural importance. And new breeding methods, hybridization, mutation, bud sport, and chemical treatment. So pag sinabing grafting, magdudugtong we are joining a desirable variety to rootstock. So ito yung scion. Ito yung from another or a desired plant. Ito yung stock. Okay? Stock yung recipient plant. At yung kung saan yung broken line, yun yung yung graftage kung saan yung nag-join sila. Ang question, nag-join ba pati yung inner part? No, it's only the skin. So the branch, the inner core, the woody part never fuse completely. So you have to make sure that it's still protected kahit pa malaki na yung halaman because that's the weak point in the plant where they have fused their cambium. Ito yung mga itsura ng rootstock from a friend who collects sa Taiwan. So bibili siya ng isang truck for several $1,000s and then put them in pots ready to receive the science from imported sources or other sources. So sabi nga natin, you can choose color schemes based on the available cultivars available sa market. So if you want totally yellow combined with purple, pwede yun, due to grafting. Posible na mangyari yun. It's not a new thing. It's been in practice since 4,000 years ago. I think skip na natin ito sa I think isang commercial fruit na ginagamitan ng grafting is apple, So the desirable apple variety is propagated and mass using grafting. At yung mga matatandang varieties na hindi desirable, they cut it and they replace it with a more desirable variety. Okay, bakit ginagawa ang grafting? It's easy to propagate, because hindi lahat ng bougainvillea pwedeng i-propagate by cuttings. Mayroong ibang maselan. Teka muna, mimute ko lang yung sarili ko. Wait a while. Goodbye. Mag-goodbye ako sa twins. Alright. Hardiness, because yung sayon minsan, maliliit lang siya, weak yung roots niya. And maganda yung mga tumubo na sa backyard natin and you put the desirable sayon pero maganda yung rootstock mo. Mas mabilis mo mapaparami. Sturdy to provide a strong tall trunk kasi yung iba hindi naman talaga lumalaki ng sorry, JB. So, yung iba, they will not grow big trunks. So it's always good to have a native or an ordinary variety and graft attractive ones or desirable ones as scions. Okay. Where am I now? Okay, dito na ako. All right. And since a lot of the common varieties are disease and pest resistance because of their familiarity with the local setting, yung mga lab grown selan, madaling mamatay, madaling mabulok. So if you graft them on a native bougainvillea or a common bougainvillea, mas malaki yung chance of survival. Of course, you can also repair a damaged plant by grafting. Doon na to sa mga hobbies na talaga. So I will not deal with that anymore. Kung nabobore ka na sa collection mo, you can change all the colors by grafting multicolor. Gusto mo puro yellow lahat or gusto mo puro variegated. Okay, and maintain consistency and perpetuate clones. Of course, sabi nga natin, multicolored bougainvilleas would be a curiosity, a center of attraction for your garden. maganda rin ibenta because by grafting you add value, you know. So mabebenta na siya anywhere from 700 to 1,000, and the root stocks, yung malalaking trunk na gahita, which you buy for like 2 to 3,000, you can sell to as high as 30,000 if it's, you know, 30, 40, 60,000 if it's in very good form and very healthy state. All right, these are the types of grafted ones that you see commercially shipped, exported from Thailand. So yan yung itsura nila. Hi, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so may korting bahay, parang, what do you call that? A temple. The others are and different colors. So it's really, you know, a unique thing. Of course, doon sa mga mahilig mag-bonsai, maraming geologists who are into this because, you know, we work with nature and we sometimes collect a plant or two and making them or growing them in their dwarf version. Yung bougainvillea is very, very suitable for this. Value added because sinabi nga natin, by putting in imported or very unique scion from several pesos, several hundred pesos, it becomes several thousand to several tens of thousands. Ganun yung range ng prices niya. Okay, yung mga higher value grafted examples. So yung first picture is one being sold in Thailand, parang mushroom shape, different colors. Thus they maintain that sort of like hemispherical canopy. The other one, the middle picture, is a cascade of purple flowers, small leaves. Pero ang interesting yung second and third picture, ang ginamit, ugat, roots of bougainvilleas excavated from the ground. Okay? They are really nicely curved and maganda yung forma. And then duduktungan mo lang ng sayon. The roots are very receptive. Pag dinuktungan mo ng sayon, most likely 90% buhay. Okay? You need special tools for this, pero you can do with yung blade na pang-ahit. Pero kung meron kang, you have cutting tools and grafting knives before, pwede na rin yun. Just make sure that they are sterilized. Tapos also make sure that you spray sterilizing solution. Yung ano lang, bleach, very dilute bleach or alcohol, isopropyl, yung rubbing alcohol. Okay, kaya natin din disinfect because we don't want pathogens introduced into the freshly cut surface. And, you know, bakit sinisil yung graft natin? We want to keep it hydrated kasi pinagduduktong natin yung skin, which is called the cambium. That's where the growth starts. And in order for it to be preserved, not to dry, you have to seal it. Pero wag kayo mag-alala, we can use a lot of common materials to use as grafting tape or to seal the graft. So ito yung mga gamit, simple blade, yung carved knife, grafting knife. Yung extreme upper right is similar to an X-Acto knife, yung hobby knife na nabibili sa National Bookstore. And then you have different kinds of cutters at the bottom. And then ito yung mga grafting tools. Yung for sealing, ito yung grafting tape. Pero if you notice the bottom right side, that's the one you use for pipes, yung Teflon tape. Okay? Very cheap. It's only like 11 pesos per roll. Malayo-layo na yung mararating niyan. Why do you use, or paano ginagamit? Tingnan niyo yung picture sa lower left. Tinusok na yung sayon and then you have to seal it with the grafting tape. Importante na hindi gagalaw. At the same time, you will also put a plastic cover to keep it from drying out. Special tools, you don't need to use this. I have one. I just use it once. Hindi ko na ginamit. Naka-display lang. Support
here.
material grafting machine. Let's. Hey, yes. Any? Do I hear any questions? May nagsasalita. I see to. All right.
Sorry.
Oh, late ka.
said.
Oo nga, nakita kita.
Hindi, bumili din ako niyan. Di ko rin, isang beses ko lang nagamit.
All right. Maganda lang kung kasi ang we are referring to this one. It's good to use if you have same size scion and stock. Pero usually in real world, mahirap mag-match yung size. So I discontinued using this. Anyway, let's continue. So ang pinakamadaling pag-graft is yung cleft grafting wherein you just split the stock and then insert the scion. Okay? Nakikita niyo ba yung pointer ko? Hindi.
Yep.
Hindi ano?
A pointer, no.
I'm moving the pointer.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No. Okay. Dun sa can you see the pointer?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah.
Ayan,
pointer.
meron na.
No.
Meron na.
Okay. Yung lower left photo, you see, instead of putting the scion in the middle, you put it on the side. Bakit? You have to make sure sa center portion, sa center picture, you have to make sure that the cambium are in contact. Yung skin ng scion at skin ng yun nga, yung scion at stock magdidikit. Hindi pwedeng hindi magdikit. Hindi mabubuhay. Wala magsusupply ng nutrients dun sa scion kung hindi magdikit yung skin nila. So ito yung cleft grafting. So in actual, puputulin mo lang yung duduktungan, yung scion, you would, in the middle picture, you would create this wedge shape. Okay? And then you split, you insert. Nakikita nyo? Yung pointer, naka-insert na. Alright? So once it's inserted, you use a Teflon tape to cover the joint. Okay? Pag na-joint na, you cover it with plastic. Yung anong plastic? Yung ice candy plastic. Okay? So you tie it with a simpleng nylon na pantali or yung twine, plastic twine. Just to make sure na hindi pasukin ng moisture and it just keeps the moisture existing in the scion and in the stock. All right. Yung iba ginagawa nila, binabalot na nila in the lower left picture, binalot na nila ng grafting tape bago pa nila ilagay. So dito nakabalot na, sinuksok dun sa stock. Tapos hindi na kailangan balutan ng plastic kasi protected na yung scion eh. Okay? So lalabas na lang dito yung mga buds. It will perforate the grafting tape. Okay? Ito yung isang magandang way of grafting. Pag malaki na yung trunk mo, you open the skin. Okay? Picture 1, picture 2, you can see how the knife sort of opens up the skin and then you prepare your scion. Sa third picture, okay, in this, isuksok mo doon sa opened up skin. Okay? And then, once it's done, you put a grafting tape around. And then you cover it with plastic. Okay, gaano ba katagal yan? Usually, it takes, as early as 9 days to see new leaves sprouting from the scions. Side grafting. Makikita nyo, this one uses an excavated root. Yung ugat ng bougainvillea, hinukay, yun yung ginamit. So, in-slice lang side, in-insert, ganyan na siya sa fourth picture. That's how it looks like. And then you wrap it with a grafting tape, put a plastic cover, and then once makita mo na marami ng dahon na tumutubo, remove or remove the plastic, pero para hindi mabigla, you do it gradually. You just open the plastic and let it stay until mag-equalize yung condition inside and outside of the plastic in 3 to 4 days. Tas ganyan na itsura niya pag established na. Alright? So, after grafting, ganito na. Once it's established, you put it in a pot, bubulaklak. So, that's how you create a bonsai using excavated roots of bougainvilleas. So, this is a selected variety, small leaf, and it has 3 shades of color, purple to light pink to white. So, yan yung tawag nila dyan ice cream. Okay. Other types of grafting, iba-ibang klase. Alright. So, yung sa pag-root graft, pinakita ko na. Ngayon, pinakita ko lang ulit. It's any piece of bougainvillea root, pwedeng baliktad. Yun ang kagandahan dito walang right side up. Pero kung natandaan mo, nung hinukay nyo, kung matandaan nyo kung ano yung way up, kung ano yung way down, it's better. Pero it doesn't matter. This is only a random section of a root. Ito siguro yung pataas, ito yung pababa dahil mas maliit. You slice it near the skin, prepare your scions, insert them. Okay, kailangan yung wedge, importante yung wedge shape kasi kailangan magtuktong yung cambium nung stock at nung scion. Okay, so sa picture na yon, naisuksok na, and then the same thing, you wrap it. Ito ginamit Teflon, madaling murang-mura lang yan. And then you wrap it in a plastic. You will notice that it's not yet potted. Okay? It's not yet potted. Pwede yan. Kasi ang roots, maraming moisture and juice. So, hindi siya kagad namamatay. And then, after doing the graft, you put in a pot. Parang imposible, Pero it grows, A lot of this root grafted bougainvilleas, ganun ang method. Ginraft muna bago tinanim. And they look really fantastic. They really look old and the curved roots are really outstanding. Ito yung ginawa ko, naghukay din ako ng mahabang root and then I grafted strawberry ice. Variegated siya. And it's still in the garden. Pero pinalitan ko rin paso dahil masyadong hindi balanse. Madaling maano ng hangin. Nabasag yung paso. So ito yung other varieties grafted onto roots. May mga maliliit na dahon, variegated leaves. All sorts of colors and color combination. Sometimes I also experiment when I harvest the roots, yung mahabang mahaba. And then I try to join. Nabubuhay naman. So yan, hinarvest na roots. And then you insert the scion and then itanim. Ganyan ang magiging resulta niya pag tumubo. Sadly, some of these plants are already... Lasing na ba? Baka yung yung connection.
Nagwa-warp, para ka lasing.
Okay. Is it clear now? Kasi sinasabihan ako. Okay, how is it now? Yung signal mahina
Minsan
okay.
delay.
Okay, ito na yung mga ginawa ko noon na May buhay pa diyan, merong iba naman na maalam na. Yan, so wag niyo itapon Pag nag-excavate kayo ng halaman, ililipat yung ikakat niyo ng mga ugat, ipunin niyo and then you can directly graft onto the roots and then put them in the plant. Ito naman yung in-excavate na, can you see this picture? This is a bigger plant. Tinanggal na lahat yung mga branches, natira na yung putol na yung roots, nilagay sa shallow container, nilagyan ng lupa, tapos kinraft. So that's how it is. This is how it looks like later on with different colors and varieties grafted onto it. Okay, ito, pwedeng malaki. Ito, ginraft ko, I think it's more than 6 feet high. Tapos, buhay na rin ito nasa garden. Buhay pa hanggang ngayon. Yan. Yung iba naman, roots, so that it would look old. So, intentionally, binawasan yung lupa. Alright? To expose the roots. Tsaka, inaayos. Sa India, ganyan. Katulad na sa Thailand kanina, mas malaki lang yung canopy nung sa Thailand. Pero that's how it looks like when you graft in a small stem. Yan. Ayoko, namatay na yata to. Collection ko rin to pero nawala na yan sa garden. Alright, I'll skip this one. Para maging successful, dapat compatible yung scion and stock. Okay? And then i-align yung cambium and then make sure that it's not loose, tama lang yung pressure. Tapos make sure na kahit nagduktong na siya, protektahan nyo pa rin. Kasi pag mahangin, madaling nandudun pa rin yung tape or talian nyo ng panibago kung masyado nang nasasakal yung ginrap. Avoid, pag tinapo ng ibon, bali. Pag tinapuan ng lundagan ng pusa o aso, mababali. So make sure it's in a safe place. And yung kung pwedeng maglagay ng stake without, stick and tying it to the stick without diminishing the aesthetics, pwede rin gawin yan. Alright. So care and maintenance, kailangan may support, protect from strong wind and rain, secure a stand pot, protect from pets and birds, protect from friends na mahilig pahingi, putol ang putol, hindi man nagsasabi in your garden. You can propagate bougainvilleas from cuttings, from seeds, air layering and grafting. So ito yung mga experiment ko dati. Nabuhay naman lahat. Ang hirap, pag nabubuhay lahat, marami ring mapapabayaan, kaya natitigok din. These are commercial lab. The left picture is a commercial lab in Taiwan, where they experiment on growing it by seeds. And then the right picture is they're grown in magkasaklob na na plastic cups, and the cuttings are kept moist by sealing the plastic cover, yung cup to cup, kumbaga, para hanggang lumabas yung dahon, retain the moisture. Okay, may nag-propagate ng seed sa Taiwan. So wag na natin gawin yan. Yan yung itsura ng seed grown. At minsan, you come up with a cultivar with different character from the mother plant. Iba-iba yung shade, may lighter shade, may darker shade. So, yan yung mga commercial gardens sa Taiwan na pinupuntahan namin. So it's really a serious business. Bagay, lahat naman ng garden sa Taiwan, ganyan eh. It's all protected from the elements. May pera and maganda yung gardening practice nila. So even the seedlings are propagated in greenhouses with I-beam support, So medyo magastos yan. If you don't have the capital, I think you'll resort to bamboo and other ways to support greenhouse without spending too much money. Yeah, parang factory pero halaman yung nasa loob. So greenhouses or propagation looks like this in Taiwan. And once they're established, they're put out in the sun. This vast farm employs only 2 people because it's watered automatically using control. They flood the whole field, and water shuts off once the level of water is attained dun sa ground. Sorry, unstable na naman yung connection ko. All right, I'll continue. So that's how it looks like, a big, vast farm managed by only 3 people. So desirable cultivars, hindi lang green, marami ng kulay ngayon. And the albino ones at the lower right picture looks really fantastic. Too much, contrast in color. So these are the different sizes. Some are as big as your half my hand, yung size. Okay. Very common to sa British gardens, yung topiary. So you can design your bougainvilleas, grafted bougainvilleas this way if you are creative enough. So pwede sa grafted bougainvillea itong iba-ibang shape. So that's how it looks like once it's shaped into topiaries. These are example of potted ones in Vietnam, in Thailand, may mga heart shape. They invest on wires and support. And once it's in bloom, export na yan sa Middle East or other countries. Okay, so they have fantasy series, peacocks, swans, and all that. Kita na natin to kanina. This picture is like a basket, I think. Basket topiary. May mga giants then, of course. Bougainvilleas can also grow into big, hindi siya tree, big shrub, because it's not really wood. It's like a woody shrub, but not a tree. Okay? And so parang yung mga nag-graft ganyan, yung mga professional grafters in Thailand, maakyat tapos nakakapit dun sa mga sangang ginagraft nila. That's an example of a large bonsai bougainvillea in Taiwan. So these are the bonsai varieties. Those who are in bonsai know the different forms that you want to achieve, and they have proper names. Okay? So ito yung mga itsura ng mga bonsai bougainvillea. It's very attractive. Again, you have to make sure that this is in a sunny area. Bougainvilleas do not bloom in shaded areas, so it has to be in full sun. Yung mga pambonsai, you wire it, and then you create fantastic shapes. Once it's in bloom, it's a centerpiece in your garden. Yan. Large ones, small ones. That's it. And some are, reminds you of a scene in China, right? So yeah. Ito, the right picture is kasama na yung roots. Talagang na siya, acrobatic na. Buhul-buhul na. This is an exhibit of bonsais in China, no? If you see the proportion of the trunk and the canopy, you would wonder how does it maintain yung nutrients. Pero it's supplied with artificial fertilizers. All right, that's it. That's the end of the presentation. Wala na. Okay.
Okay. Ang daming tanong nyo.
Kumustahan?
Sinong natutulog? Aida, gising ka pa. Ha? You're still awake? All right.
Maraming tanong nyo. Ano ba to?
Yes. At oo, sa chat, hindi ko nabuksan yung chat. I was busy with
Ikaw na mamili kung anong gusto mong sagutin dyan.
Okay, maraming questions. So, kay Larry, saan ko ba umpisahan?
Bahala
From
ka.
the top.
From the top.
Isa-isahin mo.
Isa-isahin. Si Ed ba yung nakahubad? Si Er ba yung nakahubad? Bakit? Oo nga. Alright. What's the proper repotting and soil reconditioning techniques of potted plants? Seryoso tong tanong na to kay galing kay Tol Larry. Okay. depende rin sa experience. You just don't go to a garden shop and, bigyan mo ako ng potting mix or garden soil. Sometimes you're better off making your own. Example ng mga potting mix, yung dried na ipa or coco coir, and then you mix it with a bit of vermicast or yung mga compost nyo sa garden nyo. In that way, you have a full control of what's in your potting mix. And then you have to make sure buhaghag, and it should be airy enough, light enough na pag tinanim mo yung halaman, hindi siya masisiksik through time kasi importante yung root development and yung permeability ng potting medium. Hindi pwedeng maputik dahil magkaklag yung tubig. At ayaw nung maraming halaman yung naiipon yung tubig. It leads to fungus development and ultimately the plant will die of rot. Mabubulok.
Ano, yung binebentang loam soil, okay ba yun?
Yun nga yung problema doon. Tawag lang nila loam soil, but it's actually a river, yung ine-excavate sa mga quarry, river quarries. So,
Sand siya?
sandy yun eh. Sandy loam.
Sandy.
But
Oh.
they tend to
Sandy.
compact, tumitigas yun. Magugulat
Kasi
ka
cement.
parang
Parang cement
Di,
na.
di mataas pa rin ang clay content nun.
mataas ang clay content and in the end, hindi na nag-develop ng maganda yung root ng halaman.
Pag yung
And
vermicast lang, kasi yun yung mga nakikita kong binibentang soil eh. Pag vermicast lang, hindi rin maganda na
hindi
yun
rin
na.
maganda kasi
Dapat sasamahan
may
mo pa rin na iba.
tendency na siya, masyado siyang viscous, masyadong sticky. So,
Maganda
lagyan mo
yung
ng
may
ipa,
ipa.
lagyan mo ng
Okay.
coco coir. Oo.
Sige.
Huwag kayong gagamit ng pinaglagarian ng coco
yung
lumber
kusot.
kasi merong tannins yun eh.
Oo.
Acid yun eh.
Okay.
Matitigok yung halaman yun.
So, paano pag recondition, tol?
Okay. So, first of all, kung maganda na may root system, you always make sure na yung next pot mo is larger than the former pot, and then make sure na loosen mo yung soil and tabunan mo na ng new potting media and lagay mo muna sa shade, observe mo kung paano magre-response. But make sure na once you water it for the first time, completely made-drain out yung tubig. Pag hindi mag-drain out yung tubig, may water logging yun. So, delikado sa halaman. Okay. Question ulit kay Larry. While it is true that buyers are generally interested in the plants and not its name and other info, should the sellers also initiate some? It's difficult for a blind man to lead, others. Kasi kung yung seller hindi rin alam, mahirap din sila mag-inform. So, a lot of people stick to using commercial names rather than making an effort to research. So, kung kayo may halaman, kahit gaano kasimple, i-research nyo dahil mas magandang pakinggan yung kausap yung informed kesa yung ganon, yung parang kulot-kulot yung gilid, parang ang sarap layasan, ang sarap
Suggestion
bastusin.
ko, tol, sa mga nagbebenta, kasi siyempre yung iba talaga gusto lang nila maganda yung kulay, itsura. Pero pwede siguro lagyan nyo ng name, for example, ito, ganito, name niya.
I think
ito dapat huwag masyadong dinidiligan, dapat indoor to. Or kung hindi naman, may link about yung kung saan nyo pwedeng i-research kasi yung iba talaga interesado lang kasi makulay. But yung proper na pag-alaga sa kanya, later on it will come eh.
Yeah, the problem is, I think the big nurseries would have that information. The resellers, yun yung problema. Because of the pandemic, ang daming reseller. They hahango sa isang malaking nursery, ibebenta dahil maganda. Pero ano nga ba yung pangalan? Ganun. Oo. So naiiba yung Sefrici nga sabi natin, magiging Sefrici, hindi mo alam. Tapos yung basta ang dami nakakatawang pangalan because they don't, it's all about making profit and probably the source of the plants that they resell is also not informed. So yung yung Chinese whispers na napapasa pamali ng pamali as you go down the line. Pero when you deal with big nurseries, meron naman, may sila, mas informed sila and they would tell you right away na ganito yung gagawin, ito yung pangalan niya. Maraming nagbebenta just for the sake of selling pero hindi nila sinasabi na ganito yung cultural requirement because A, ayaw nilang kailangan bumili ka dahil nga namatay to perpetuate the business or hindi nila alam because humango lang sila. So maraming factors. But people who know are, I think, readily share the information. So yun yung
Important, di ba?
all right. Teka, type water requirement. Link about link. Importante you join societies or plant groups para makita nyo yung mga syunga-syunga na comments or yung mga smart comments. Usually in big groups with 100,000 members, there are different levels of expertise in plants or stupidity in plants. So lahat yun makikita, maririnig nyo. So you would readily know kung sino talaga yung authority and kung sino yung nagpapanggap lang na nagpo-post sa halaman for the sake of, makarami ng likes. Tol, is there a study of bougainvillea as a possible indicator of mineralization? I doubt that, Norman, because it grows in any condition from desert to tropical. So medyo mahirap. Maybe the absence or presence of elements might indicate changing of leaf color or may tinatawag na umiiyak na bata. Alagaan mo na yung bata. Joey.
Anak ni
Kanino nga? Anak kay Joey?
Anak siguro ni ano yun.
Ayan. So, hindi siya indicator
Yayo,
of
Joey.
mineralization. All right. Oh, si Tall Art. Hi, Art. Kita ko nakamute
Tol
na
Art,
siya.
magpakita ka, huwag ka magtago. We want to meet you.
Okay, from Jedi, oh. Sige, Tall Art, sige.
That's better. Hello.
Yeah, better.
My God. We have not seen you for a very long time, Tol Art.
Exactly.
Doc Art.
Doc Art.
How
You were
great thou
highly
art.
recommended to give a lecture next
Next speaker.
Next speaker ka daw. Is that okay?
Ano ba yung tatak ko?
Yan kaya.
Penology, hazard assessment.
Yeah.
Flooding.
Okay. Sige, I will contact you para pag-usapan natin ang lecture, ang title mo.
Ito. Sige, basahin ko lang yung comment ni King Jedi. Wala naman talaga interested sa scientific names. Yun nga, ang hirap. Ang dami nyong ganyan eh. Yun ang problema natin. Start educating yourself. Para ikaw din maging mentor sa iba.
Yeah.
Usapan lang sa halaman, if swerte yan, okay, ito yung isa eh. Walang swerte or malas na halaman. Yung tao yung swerte or malas. Halaman, they're all God's creation and it's up to us to nurture them or leave them alone in nature, So, hindi totoo yung may swerte at may malas na halaman. Malas mo kung manakawan ka na halaman. Swerte nung nagnakaw.
Question, Nyong.
Yes, go.
Totoo ba yung pag ginugupit yung tinik, mas magbubulaklak siya?
Hindi totoo yun. Ang dami talagang urban legend, urban myth.
Si ate kasi tanggal yung tinik para daw
nakwento mo na sa akin yan, yung ate mo may mga superstition na wala sa libro. Anyway,
Ganyan din nanay ko, Tol.
Oo, ang bougainvillea, they either come up with thorn, tapos in lieu of pag nagbulaklak sila, wala silang tinik kasi it's either they have a thorn or a bract, a flower bract.
I see.
Kung wala siyang tinik at mabulaklak, of course, dahil yung tinik nga na-replace ng bract. Pero hindi mo kailangan, nasa iyo kung matyaga ka tanggalin yung tinik ng bougainvillea na 10 foot or 15 feet high, it's up to you, it's your plan. Ang gamit ng tinik is basically, as I said, it's not a tree, it's a vine. So it's a clinging vine. It uses the hooks of the thorn para kumapit siya kung saan siya pwedeng kumapit. Kaya makita mo umaakit sa mga puno or sa mga pader because of that thorn. Okay. Ano pa? Sorry abrupt akong blunt ako mag-advise kasi ang daming mga ang daming yes.
Yung mga plants na may toxic saps.
Yes. Okay. Marami niyan yung
mga plants.
Oo. Nasa grupo yan ng aglonema, yung damp cane na tinatawag.
Ano yung itsura nila?
Siya yung
lingatong, toxic yun di ba?
Oo, pero hindi naman tinatanim yan tol Nasa gubat yan. Pero lately, nagkaroon ng craze ng lingatong roots Oo, pero ano yan, fat na naman yan. Katulad nung one time naging fat yung buto ng mahogany, pero toxic din yun. Ang dami kawawa, ang daming nagre-resort to herbal medication not knowing na may mga toxicity level. So, basically, yung plants na hindi rekomendado na nasa loob ng bahay, yung malalaking, para siyang aglonema, i-research mo lang yung aglonema.
Malaking dahon na may mga
Or Dieffenbachia. 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 Damp cane. Yun yung parang ano yun malalaki yung katawan niyan tapos ang kati-kati pag pinutol mo makati.
Yeah, I know that. Meron kami
so it's not recommended for indoor plant kasi pag inuya ng pet or inuya ng bata, talagang matagal na iyakan yun. Magdudusa ng dugos.
Yan, si Gina may tanong.
Yes.
I think nasagot na kasi ang tanong ko, yun nga kung pwedeng indoor kasi dito sa Canada, di ba, pag pinapasok yung halaman pagka winter. So
Yes. Oo, totoo yun. I think, plants a lot of tropical plants tend to hibernate. So yung iba, wini-winterize nila. So let's say caladium would be harvested out of the ground kasi masisira sila during extreme freezing temperature. So you have to put them kung saan yung temperature more or less similar to tropical condition. Pero yung pinapasok sa loob, it's okay. Don't force it to just maintain the health and hindi ganong gagawa ng pagkain dahil wala halos sunlight. Pero importante ma-maintain yung temperature level at yung moisture. Some people really collect. Yun sa mga kaibigan ko sa Germany, yung collection na meron pa mga talbos ng kamote sa loob ng bahay kahit winter. So, posible yun, ipasok mo because may mga halaman na hindi nagso-survive sa winter.
Yeah.
Especially tropical plants. Marami ng mga foliage plants na grown in tropical conditions. Pag dinala sa mga temperate climates, mas maganda sila nasa loob.
Kasi yung uncle ko, meron ako nakitang bougainvillea nung summer, nasa labas siya, nasa malaking paso. Very healthy siya. So hindi ko lang alam kung ano kung pinasok niya, kung ano ng status na yun. Pero very healthy siya.
Yung kaibigan ko from Croatia, he wrapped the whole plant na nag-climb ng 3 stories with a burlap, parang sako, to protect it from harsh winters. And then he has also tinitrim na niya yung foliage para magkasya sila sa loob nung greenhouse niya sa bahay. So vertical sila, they are grown vertically. Tapos sisiksik niya yon during winter. Tapos ilalabas during pag medyo uminit-init na para revitalize yung growth. So may mga ways dito sa Pilipinas walang problema. Pero sa mga lumalamig na countries, kailangang i-maintain yung temperature na hindi sila mamamatay, hindi sila mag-freeze.
Okay.
Hello, Tol
Thank you.
Jojo. Mukhang may tanong si Tol Jojo.
Yeah.
Yes, go.
Nyong,
Yes,
sa
sir.
Manila, mayroon na bang existing farm o garden na nag-offer ng small classes on, say, grafting? Kasi mahirap sundan yung, may mga actual demonstration ba?
Yes. Oh, during pre-pandemic tol, meron ang dami. Bonsai Society, Philippine Horticultural Society, because I get invited in their exhibits, tapos yun sa mga seminar, and it's sometimes free entrance, and then it's a chance that I demonstrate. Half day yun eh. Ang daming umaattend. So watch out for announcement. Pero ngayon pandemic, I doubt kung meron. Mostly you learn those things online. From
Jojo, kunin mo na lang si Nyong as consultant. Bakit
Yes.
kailangan pa ng speaker? Si Tol Jojo na lang.
Bayad siya, Alex. Yan na.
Ay, ang dami na natin. 20 na
Wala,
tayo.
Ayun,
Saya.
pwede natin gawin yan. Pero mahirap
Ang SDMP.
online kasi kailangan kayo mismong gagawa eh. You need hands-on material. Oo.
Papuntahin mo sa Alabang, Tol. Si Nyong.
Nagkikita kami niyan, tol. Nagkikita kami ni Jojo sa mga NAMA tsaka FOMI events.
Okay.
Mga nama, ano pala ito?
And
Ayan,
FOMI,
Mga FOMI yan. Mga magagaling.
Ganun ba?
Yan na si Tol Alex. Tapos
Tapos
na
na grocery.
Tol,
Tapos na bang
tapos ka
grocery?
na mag-shopping.
Ayan,
Yan ang mukha ng 5 degrees.
Naitago na lahat. Nasa bahay na.
Good. Good to see you, and naka-recover ka pala ng COVID, so well done, well done.
Buti na lang, nakaligtas.
Pero hindi naman naging severe yung case mo, tol.
Takot na rin ako magpabakuna kasi COVID na ako. Hindi naman, okay lang. 3 days lang ako, 3 days na daw.
So parang flu lang pala yung Tol.
Nakakatakot din. Kanya lang, pinagdasal ko, nakita ko naman 2% lang namamatay. Sabi ko, kung sa 2%, wala na.
That's good. That's great. Oh, that's great.
Marami ka pang utang babayaran, Tol, kaya okay lang.
Symptomatic. Para sinabi mong mahirap.
Nireject pa siya sa taas eh.
Reject.
Hindi ka pa pwede. Baba ka.
Wala pa sa listahan. Pero
Sabi, balik ka muna.
papailan ka pa ako niya.
Sige, ito, basahin ko na lang itong last 2 questions. Are you heading or inclined to venture into business sa halaman? Malaki na rin time and money I've invested. So, I think I joined in 2019 and it was all for fun. Nakabenta siguro for 10 days was like 200,000.
Wow.
Wow!
wow, big time.
Hindi.
Bakit hindi mo ako binigyan ng free?
Hindi mo ako sinama, 200,000.
Business meron eh.
Yun sale yun. Ang capital A, negative. Lumabas na negative because marami akong natirang halaman kesa nabenta. Anyway, it was all for fun. So,
Pero natira mo naman, you could still display at home.
No,
so
I was able to sell yung mga 5 paso, I was able to sell for 120K sa isang collector. So, okay naman. It was all for fun. Anyway.
Ayan, dadalawin ka daw ni Jed. Mamimili si Jed sa'yo.
Parang alam
Ang hihingi.
Namimitas.
Sabi nga natin, kung binili ko, bakit kahihingi lang, di ba?
Parang kay Dagol yan
Kung naparami ko, kung naparami pwede.
Giveaway.
yung mga extra tubo lang, yung mga tubo.
Yan,
Anak-anak
tama. Pwede
ba?
naman.
Anak-anak.
Yung anak-anak, oo. Anyway, yung
Apo yun, apo.
ZZ plant ba toxic sa loob ng bahay? I don't know where that news came from. Yung Zamioculcas yata to, di ba? ZZ plant. Hindi yan
Ano
yun
yan?
eh. I think...
Ito yung sabi nila eh. Ito na yung GC plant niya eh.
Yes, oo. Oo.
Toxic ba yan?
Zamioculcas, di ba? Ha?
Yeah.
Di,
Toxic daw ba
toxic
yan?
yung tao.
Tol, subukan mo. Subukan mo, Tol.
I mean, you know, if you chew the leaves, I don't know what will happen. Pero halaman yan. Bakit mo ngangunguyain yung halaman, di ba?
Oh, yeah,
If
meron
it's
din
allowed
si
to
Tol Alex.
grow,
Oh.
Nag-excrete
it
na.
will
Plante yung
produce
halaman niya, Tol.
oxygen.
Meron
Ano
ako,
yung
kangkong.
halaman mo, Tol Alex? Ang ganda naman. Lagyan mong ano. Oh, wow.
Saan,
Oh, ano
saan?
yan? Parang cannabis yan eh.
Money tree.
Hindi ko
Money
makita.
tree, money tree. Oh.
Oh, money tree. Basta ka-inchikan, alam eh.
Ayan, ang daming money tree. Hindi naman alam
Ay,
yung
ang
totoong
ganda.
pangalan.
Oh.
Puro money tree. Sa dami ng swerteng halaman, hindi na pinangalanan.
Oo, sa
Dami halaman sa loob ng bahay, oh.
Oo nga, oh, ganda.
Kasi
Wow.
Pinasok niya na sa bahay.
Ah, may vertical pa siya.
Ano yan? Dapat may pangalan yan.
Oo, dapat may pangalan. Pag
Kalamansi.
hindi mo alam,
Alam mo,
i-identify. Nako, tol.
Ako pag hindi ko
Wala,
alam.
puro walang
kasi
pangalan.
namimigay
Ito,
ako
San Francisco,
ng
kilala ko
plants
to.
for Christmas
Oh,
eh. So,
hindi San Francisco tawag doon, Croton yan. Croton.
Croton,
Ah.
Croton.
Uy, mahal yan,
Sa atin, San
Croton.
Francisco.
Wala,
Oh.
Croton.
patingin.
Sarap yan.
O, nung araw kasi, ang tawag yan, San Francisco, pero Croton yung group ng
Proton pala.
Oh.
Croton.
Hala, kilala lahat ni Brad dyan. Eh. Meron nga tumubo dun sa kan. Eh. Alam na yung paano.
Hindi, kailangan kasi yung kausap ko mga mga expert din. You know, I tend to learn a lot from
Photos,
them.
alam, yung dating palang water lily tol, photos pala yung photos.
Oh, photos. O yung iba, PHO photos, imbis na
Photos,
photos. Oh.
imbis
Oh,
na
pero may
President
scientific
of
name
United
yun,
States.
hindi lang photos yun. Talagang masamang damo si Alex, buhay pa. Haha. Hanip naman si Jed talaga. Anyway. Yeah, so advice natin dun sa hindi nakahabol kanina, don't buy, you know, why buy at this time na sobrang mahal ng price. So you just cultivate and propagate what you have in your garden and hayaan mo na mag-post yung mga
Tol, may tanong pala ako. May tanong ako.
Go.
Ang aking photos biglang nanilaw lahat ang dahon tapos namatay.
Oo.
Nabulok ang ugat. Siguro nasobrahan ng tubig.
Yes, overwatering. Sinabi natin kanina na you can kill the plant by too much care.
Paano bubuhay? Tatanggalin lang yung maraming gano'n. Ililipat, ano?
Bumili ka ng bago, patay na yun.
Patay na yun.
Or kung merong mother plant, pumutol ka lang ulit and then
Okay, suggestion.
Mahabang.
para ma-sustain yung business, di ba? Bili ka.
Hindi. Lang naman sa akin. Laro-laro lang. Tingnan mo.
Yeah,
Ang nangyari sa photos ko, naging kalansay.
Ay, oo. Hindi, pero
Kasi
winter
alam
ngayon
ko,
eh. Di ba nag-hibernate yan, Tol?
Di ba
Green.
Wala na yung mga dahon.
Tol, buhay pa yan, green pa eh.
Nag-uusbong naman. Nag-uusbong na.
Okay. Hayaan mo lang.
Wala lang yung dahon, pero
Ay, kawawa naman.
Sometime March.
buhay pa yan, green pa eh.
Kaya nga, hindi kasi inalis ko na yung kanyang mga patay na ugat. Pinatay ko
kay
na.
Alice, talagang plantita na talaga ngayon.
Plantita na.
Dati kasi toxic. Dati kasi toxic yung
Pangalan nito, espada.
daliri ni Alice eh.
Oh, nice.
Ano yan, Tol? Espada.
Ano yan, Tol?
Sansevieria siguro kung espada. Hindi ko
Espada.
makita.
Nung araw, tawag dito sa Pilipinas, espada eh.
Sa Siberian.
Sansevieria.
Yung sabi, buenas din daw sa loob ng bahay. Kaya nga tinanong ko, naman puro
Si Tol, normal, may pinapakita.
Hindi ko makita eh. Ay, mabagal yung internet ko, hindi ko makita. Ayun.
Pareho din yan, monetary. Mataas na monetary.
Si Aida, may papakita rin yung halaman eh. Aida, pakita mo yung halaman na gusto mo ipakita kay Nyong.
Huwag yung flower mo, Aida, yung halaman.
Aida, unmute ka muna da. Unmute ka, unmute. That's better.
Yes, Aida.
Cycas revoluta.
Cycas.
Cycas.
Anong tawag mo kanina?
Plantita
puro
rin.
scientific si Aida, ah.
Seko,
Hindi
sabi
na
niya
siko,
seko.
di
Sa
ba?
akin, mga...
Siko.
mga
Sago
Siko?
palm yan,
Siko.
sago.
Ngayon, ang tanong ko,
Sago palm yan, hindi
kasi
siko.
ha?
Sago palm.
Sego plant.
Hindi siko.
Diba? Ang inaano ko, gusto ko i-transfer sa ground. Inyong.
Ano, no?
Gusto ko
Pwede.
i-transfer sa ground.
Oo.
Ngayon, ang pag-plant ba nito, sabi ganun sa website, sand, kasi imimix mo ng sand, at saka may organic soil, garden soil lang ako eh.
Ano ba yung
Tapos
ground mo? Hindi naman mabato.
Mabato nga eh. Clay, may siyang imimix ko nga siya ng clay at saka sand siguro, ano?
Hirap ano pag wala eh. Imbitahin mo ako dyan. Bigyan mo
Yeah.
Ako ba
Gumawa ka
naman?
na ng steroids.
Tama,
Gawa ka
man.
ng plant.
Ayan, ano, ganyan yan, no? Ayun yung
Gawa ka ng
espada.
box na malaki. Doon mo
Espada.
mag-mix ka ng soil. Soil and sand.
pwede naman yan. Actually, yung seigo naman, hindi yan maselan. Kailangan lang masiguro mo na
Wenky,
porous.
magpakita ka.
Ano no?
Kailangan lang ng porous. Tataniman.
Yung ano niya, soil.
Well-drained. Tapos yung bato, kung pwede mo matanggalan ng mabawasan yung bato. Okay lang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ipa-transfer ko siya mamaya.
Ha? Biglang
Hindi,
i-apply na
meron
lang.
akong background.
Pakita mo nga da, pakita mo.
Ang ganda lang background ko.
May gumawa kayo background.
Oh, sino pa? Any more questions? Si Evelyn, merong ano yung nasa likod niya? Jade plant ba yun or adenium?
Hindi ko alam. Puro succulent ang meron ako.
Oo nga. Lahat yan succulent. Malaking grupo ng halaman yan.
Meron akong kalanchowi pa yun.
Kalancho.
Kalanchowi.
Oh.
Tapos meron akong jade plant pero nandoon.
Wow!
Saka anthurium. Yun lang.
Okay. Oo.
Yung nag-try ka rin ba ng hydroponics yung para sa vegetable?
No, I always see that pero I don't like the idea. Siguro pwede yun kung harvester siya ng metal sa polluted waters. Pero maganda naman yung soil natin eh. Why will you introduce chemicals sa vegetables na kakainin mo later? So yun lang yung ko doon. Misgiving ko doon sa system na yun. A lot of
may chemical na...
Oo, kasi
kasi hindi naman pwedeng tubig.
Nutrients kasi.
I prefer soil-based technique ng pag-grow ng vegetables. And if you have organic or compost, household compost or chicken manure or vermicast, yun yung the best. Question. Wala si Ana. Marami naman orchid collection naman yun.
Wala
kung gusto niyo ng murang fertilizer, punta kayo kay Tol Jimmy
Hoy,
because
si Wenky.
he is selling per sack 30 pesos lang per sack
Tulilado naman
chicken
yan.
manure.
Benta niya.
Ha?
Sa hanggat yan, Tol Nyong. Sa hanggat.
No, sa may
Bulacan,
Baliwag.
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 Hindi sold per sack dati. Perta na ba siya ngayon? Bigla naman
naging big time. Niya kasi gusto niya bulk hindi pwedeng sa
hindi, dati nakasako lang at kumukuha yung
ko order na ako
natin.
ng ilang sacks, hindi raw pwede kasi di-deliver, kailangan yung
hindi kung deliver, talaga by bulk. Pero if you want by sack, pick upin mo doon sa lugar niya.
I'll record it for them.
And then, who else? Si Ed Manuel. Maganda yung mga garden ni Ed Manuel dahil he's into...
Bakit nawala si Ed?
Farming.
Nagga-garden.
Nag-harvest ng ube.
Nawala si Ed. Interesado pa naman si Ed.
Oo, nag-ano siya. Nag-harvest ng ube.
Nagdidilig.
Nag-harvest ng ube.
Gawin na. Alas 12 na riyan.
Magsasara ng restaurant.
Tol nyo, subukan ko tomorrow nakawan ng bougainvillea ang kapitbahay ko at i-grab ko. Huwag mo sisihin si Nyong kung mahuli ka. Ang dami, hindi. Because of the demand sa plants, ang dami ring plant theft na nangyayari. So, anyway, sinasabi ko nga kanina, yung mga Monstera, Deliciosa, they used to sell for like 800 to 1,000 during the pandemic, from 6,000 to 15,000. Tapos yung white na variety nun, yung Albo, nagsisell siya from 20 to 40,000.
Wow.
Tatlo or apat na dahon lang yan. So you're...
Grabe.
Oh.
5,000 per dahon. Ito na si Ed Manuel, oh. Kausapin niyo na. Tanungin mo na Evelyn kung sino yung sexy niyang cover.
Hydroponics yan.
Si Lisel, oh.
O, asawa niya yun eh.
Si Lisel?
Oo.
Yeah.
Ulit, nasan ka?
Oh, sino pang tanong? May tanong pa ba?
May tanong pa?
Ako na lang magtatanong.
Cactus.
Anong grupo ng halaman ng Hello. Si Art ba yan?
Board exam.
Hindi, yung mga may tao talaga na man sa halaman. May mga golden hands ba?
Green thumb.
Hindi. Yung nga sinasabi ko, Tol Art, na nagbabago rin. Si Alice, kahit anong hawakan niya nun, patay. Halaman. Alright?
Halaman, Grabe talaga yan, grabe yan. Bili ng halaman, hawakan ko, Tinapik yung kamay ko.
It was so extreme, Tol Art, so extreme yung pagiging mainit ng kamay niya sa halaman. Pati yung silk plant, artificial na silk plant, umupas pa. Kulay. Pero natutuwa naman ako ngayon, nagpo-post na siya ng halaman niya na namumulaklak. So nabubuhay na. So may pag-asa pa rin pala. Basta lang maturuan ng tama.
Detol, iba nag-aalaga doon, Lisa.
Oo, pero nabawasan na yung toxicity niya kasi kahit hawakan niya, hindi namamatay.
Yun.
Yun lang,
Tao pala yung toxic pala, hindi malaman.
Pero myth yata yung tol yung green thumb eh. Kasi karamihan kasi yung nag-aalaga, hindi talaga inaalagaan. Kaya namamatay, di ba? So, saka din nila in-observe yung halaman eh. Pag nasobrang alaga, dilig, nalulunod.
Yeah, exactly.
So, dapat mindful ka rin kung ano yung gusto ng halaman na inaalaga.
Ulitin natin, yung sinabi natin kanina,
diba?
Walang halaman na totoong indoor. You have to take out every now and then, within a week, ilabas mo ng 2-3 araw kasi pasok. Otherwise, hindi makakagawa ng pagkain yung halaman. Walang photosynthesis.
That's nature. They are.
Walang halaman na nabuhay sa loob ng kuweba. To say it,
Kahit na, Nyong, kahit na meron kang, let's say, ano yun?
Ilaw.
No, not artificial light, kundi yung sun coming from the roof.
Pwede.
Kung nakulay puti.
Skylight, pwede yun because it's still sunlight filtered. Pwede yun.
Wala kang ginagamit na pang-test sa mga soil or like, for example, acidity, wala kang ganung mga equipment.
Basically, kailangan gawin mo yun yung pH tsaka yung moisture tester. Pero ako, from experience lang, basically kung malakihan na yung tataniman mo, you need to do basic analysis ng soil para gagawa ka na ng commercial nursery. Alam mo yung condition. Pero marami ding nursery na they just resort to making their own mixture, potting mixture, hindi ko sinasabing soil. because yung soil kasi may mga inherent pathogens din. May inherent bacteria and all that na hindi maganda dun sa mga plants that are coming from overseas or grown from sterile conditions. So, mas maganda na gumawa ka na lang ng iyong sariling mix. Sinatawag nilang soilless mix. So, it could be a combination of IPA, carbonized rice hull, coco coir, and other stuff. Pwedeng lagyan din ng mga pinatubo na pebbles to maintain porosity and permeability. So, pwede kang magtanim at hindi na skip mo na yung analysis. If you use potted plants, if you grow potted plants tapos puro soilless yung mix mo. In that way kasi makokontrol mo lahat yung mga condition, hindi maging acidic or anything for that matter.
Okay.
Nyong,
Yes.
may share lang ako.
Yes, please.
I've had this orchid like 2018, pinigay sa akin ng kaibigan ko.
Oo.
It has no blooms, no? Lang siya yung orchid. Sabi niya, just take care of it. You know what? One thankful thing I am about COVID. Lumabas yung flowers. Is there any connection sa COVID and my orchid blooming?
Wala.
May connection doon?
Hindi, yung
Meron, nababantayan mo.
Yung orchid mo is Phalaenopsis, ano?
Yes.
That's a variety ng orchid na yan, or group ng orchid na yan. And they thrive well in moist condition, pero not overly moist kasi may fungus din. Siguro, ang relation ay napansin mo na siya, kaya naalagaan mo dati hindi. Your piece.
Scientific ba yan?
Well, I'm looking at I'm just trying to imagine the cultural requirements. Napapansin mo siya, mas i-sprayan mo siguro.
It's the emotional
tatanggal-tanggalan.
Kinakausap mo rin ba yung halaman?
Dapat kinakausap,
Kinakantahan yung halaman.
Hindi ko nga kinakausap to, ini-sprayan ko lang siguro.
Si Senny, tanungin mo. Ang daming bulaklak niyan.
Si Sevelin. Sevelin dapat
Bulaklak niya ni Pete.
Dapat bugahan mo ng hininga mo kasi may carbon dioxide, mabubuhay yan.
Alam mo, Evelyn, meron akong halaman na maliliit na orchids. Ito sa window ko, nilalagyan ko lang ng ice.
Ice?
Yeah.
Why?
Sige, i-focus mo.
Yeah, ice lang.
Bakit ice? Ipaliwanag mo. Anong scientific explanation?
Ice H2O lang yan. Kaya ice yan H2O. Pero kailangan ng carbon.
Ang scientific explanation yan is it's a slow drip. So it's slow drip.
Slow drip, low temperature water.
Yeah. Sinasuggest yan ng mga ibang mga propagate ng orchid, but marami ring mga unsuccessful kasi parang yung ibang plants parang nasa shock na masyadong malamig. So parang ang suggestion sa orchids is it's just little, often but little water. I don't know.
Okay. So parang drip irrigation.
Oo, parang
Pero
ganun
si
yun.
Senny, dapat yung temperature ng area mo, sa tingin ko nilagay mo siya sa medyo mainit.
Malapit sa heater.
Para magano ka agad. Para matunaw.
Hindi, para yung temperature din niya, room temperature, mas mataas kesa dun sa other. Kasi may sa room, may cold part, may warm part eh. Kung malapit ka to sa radiator ng heater, kung may radiator, mas mas susceptible conducive sa plant growth.
Yeah.
Alam mo how long the blooms have been? Since
a month, 1.5 yan eh, hanggang 1.5 months eh.
Yeah. No, it bloomed in March.
Yung sabaw ng manok.
Oh, sabaw ng manok.
Ay,
Ano?
tinatanong ako kung ano yung laman ng rep na ano,
Sarap nga yun, pero hindi pwedeng pandilig yung sabaw ng manok.
Tinanong lang ako ano yung laman ng nasa freezer.
Ay.
Magtitinola muna.
Hello, mga tol. Tol, hello.
Hello.
Ayan,
Hoy!
si Lisel.
Naluto na ba yung halaya? Naluto na ba yung ubing halaya?
Tol Ed, sino daw yung sexy mong cover? Sabi ni Evelyn.
Asan?
Hindi ikaw.
Backdrop.
Wala yata.
Ay, nalobat ako kaya nagkaloko-loko itong cellphone. Nalobat.
Si Lisel yun, yung picture ni Lisel.
Sino si Lisel?
Asawa ni Ed.
Magandang gabi pala. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat dito sa Pilipinas pala. Magandang gabi. Ay,
magandang maga dito. Magandang maga.
Ay.
Sa Dumaguete ka, Tole, di ba?
Si Tol Nyong galing magano, no? Galing sa halaman, no? Lalo sa bougainvillea.
Hortigeologist.
Hortigeologist.
Ako ano lang. Ako chemist ngayon.
Hindi na po ano.
Walang
Nasaan
project.
si Loy? Ba't hindi sumali si Loy?
Nasa biyahe.
May biyahe na ba ulit?
Yeah.
That's
Nag-start siya ng July. July,
That's
August.
good. Cargo pa rin, cargo.
Yeah.
That's good.
Ano si Loy?
Pinuwel na lang si Loy kulang sa batch 81. At si Jojo.
Si Bukol.
Si Noel. Hindi mo nakausap, Tol?
Hindi pa nagpapakita yun, minsan.